Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Poppy Playtime Factory, aka Playtime Co. In this tutorial, I will show you how to make the entire outside of the factory. This thing is pretty massive. I think I'm going to struggle to fit this into my city, but I'm going to try anyway. If you have any suggestions on what I should make next, please leave a comment down below, whether it is something from a video game like this, or a cartoon, movie, TV series, real world. Let me know down there in the comment section. I would love to see what you guys want to see. Consider becoming a channel member today and you will gain access to a cool avatar next to your name, some unique emojis, and access to my mini city design world containing every single build that has been added to Mini City to date. This is well over 100 builds, all chronologically ordered. Java edition only. This is the amount of space required to make the factory. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Begin by placing 48 red concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. We then want to place 7 red concrete on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to extend left by 2. 1, 2. And then underneath this, we want to place 2 rows of tinted glass. Black stained glass will also do. 1, 2. Then we want to extend left from this tinted glass by 4 using red concrete, and we are going to repeat a pattern. We will place 1, 2, 3, 4 red concrete, followed by 2 tinted glass. 1, 2. 4 red concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 tinted glass. 1, 2. We will repeat this until we reach the beginning of our row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then finally we will simply just place red concrete extending left and down. This last row will be a row of 3. Don't worry if it's not a row of 4, we've done it correctly. Okay, so what we can then do is on top of all of our glass, we want to stack an additional row of glass. So they all want to be like the first row over here. Then we want to do something a little bit weird to the glass. So on the left of this glass here, we are just going to place a red concrete, just like this, okay? But on the right side of all of our glass, we want to place a row of red concrete that sits to the right, goes across the top, and then 1 block to the left, just like this. So we just want to repeat this across the top, 1 block to the left, across the top, 1 block to the left, all the way across, leading over to here, where we first started. So, if we take a look, we should have the exact same thing for every single one of these. So, the next thing that we will do is come all the way to the bottom of our row here, and right here we want to place a red concrete, and right of this, a tinted glass. Red concrete, tinted glass. Now, extend the tinted glass 1 row up, and then 2 rows to the right with red concrete. 1, 2. Then place 4 tinted glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 red concrete, 1, 2. 4 tinted glass, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 red concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a tinted glass, red concrete, tinted glass, 3 red concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a tinted glass, red concrete, tinted glass, 2 red concrete, 1, 2, 4 tinted glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 red concrete, 1, 2, 4 tinted glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 red concrete, 1, 2, 3, tinted glass, red concrete, tinted glass, and we should just hit all the way over to here. Perfect. So, all we have to do is take all of the single tinted glasses that we have placed and extend them one row down. So they effectively end up looking like pause buttons in the end. We can then fill this entire area in using red concrete. So all of these gaps here, completely just fill it in with red concrete, leading all the way up to the top of the build as we've been working on it. Next, we are going to make the roof, which is actually a bunch of individual roofs. So we've made this easy for ourselves, as if we place cyan concrete along the shape of each one of these little buildings that we've made, we will have made the entire roof shape. I don't really know how else to say it, but if we take a look at it, there we go. That's absolutely perfect. That is what the roof wants to look like, and we just want to extend all of this cyan concrete one row forwards. When we get to the end here, it's ever so slightly different. We want to overhang an additional row, and then just one row down, just like this. But in the end, we will have this. Next, we want to come all the way over to the left side of our build, and we want to locate this cyan concrete block. You can see it lines up with the right side of the window to make it easy. Well, we follow this block above and behind just like this, and we place a cyan concrete extending backwards from that block. On top of that, we place a white concrete. We can then extend that white concrete all the way over to the right by 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So, this should line up with this window. So that is how you know if you have done it correctly. Next, we want to extend the end of this row upwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then left by 2, 1, 2, join down using tinted glass. Then we want to do something that may seem a bit familiar. Left of this glass, place 4 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by 2 tinted glass, 1, 2, 4 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 tinted glass. So on and so forth until we eventually, 1, 2, 3, 4, hit the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, just like this. So this will give us this. We are then going to extend all of the tinted glass up an additional row. Then we want to, very similar to what we did just down below, we just want to place a white concrete here, but for all of these others, we extend a row of white concrete around from the right across the top, and then place a single white concrete to the left of every single window. We do this leading all the way across like this. We are then going to fill any gaps that we can see just below this white concrete row in with white concrete. So this all wants to melt together like that. That's perfect. We then want to install the exact same roof that we did just on the lower part of the build. So we just run rows of cyan concrete across the top of these shapes of the windows, just like this. And then we extend the cyan concrete one row forwards as well. There we go. That's perfect. So it's a little bit different. On the right side of the build here, we want to, first of all, let's just extend a couple of rows of white concrete just backwards like this. It just makes it a bit easier. Then, lining up with this window, and just one row backwards, we want to place a row of 11 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cyan concrete extending out of the side of this part of the build with another row on top of it. And then the cyan concrete then wants to extend back a few rows, make it quite a few, make it like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 rows or so. Then, above this, we want to place another row of 2 cyan concrete above and inside of this row, and it wants to follow the same sort of trajectory, so it just wants to extend along the inside and just inwards like this. This will later connect to something, so that's why we're placing this kind of like abstract row. And we want to place a row of yellow concrete that sits... Now, if we take a look, it sits below and inside of the cyan concrete as well. Once again, this yellow concrete is kind of going to follow the same trajectory as the rest of the rows, just making sure that it continues to sit inside of it. So, once again, you don't have to get too caught up on how many rows here, how many rows there. Just extend it back a few rows, and eventually we will connect it to something. Which kind of brings us on to this next little part. We also want to just extend the red concrete here just backwards a few rows like this. And this red concrete will then connect into the yellow concrete, as you can see, which will then later connect to something else. But we also want to just extend all of these roofs backwards as well. So I'm just going to start with these 2 here. These just want to extend back in the shape that they are. This red concrete would extend back here. Let's just make sure everything looks nice and clean. It does. All of these roofs look okay. That's absolutely perfect. That is how we are going to leave this part for now. So next we are going to place a row of 6 red concrete extending back from the side of our build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We then extend across the back by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then place a red terracotta in front of this block and extend upwards by 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Then we extend forwards by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back and join back to where we started, like this. So the point of this is that we then want to extend all of these red concretes down. So we don't have to extend every single red concrete as far down as it will possibly go. We just have to extend, and it may be easier to do it from this view, we just have to extend the red concrete far enough down that we aren't going to run into any visual problems. So, for instance, if we extend it far down as this, we are then able to connect this little house. I keep calling it a house because it looks like a house, but I highly doubt it is. We can extend that roof backwards there, as you can see, and this roof backwards here, and, well, that just covers up any of the lower part of the build that we would need to make. So we can kind of do this with a lot of this row. So we can also extend, for instance, like if we start extending this roof backwards to kind of like equal the length of the red terracotta row, then we can kind of get a grasp on how far back we even have to bother extending this. So it just saves a little bit of time if we do just add some of these rows in. See, there you go, that's perfect. So we can see that we only have to extend it this far backwards, and we can just fill this area in here. As a matter of fact, I think that it would just be better if we connected all 4 of the corners just down to the ground, just so that we've got an idea of what sort of solid shape we're working with. So with the outline of this first pillar built, it will just make it a lot easier to make all of the others. That's right, there's others. So come all the way up to the top right hand corner of this pillar, and we want to find the 6th block extending down here. So this would be number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a red terracotta extending backwards from this, and then place 13 cyan concrete extending right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Place a red terracotta, extend forwards. We then want to extend up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that we match the height of that pillar there. Then we can extend this block to the right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Across, join like this. And once again, I think it does just make it easier if we just start off by extending all 4 corners of these pillars down to the ground, or wherever it is that they do end up connecting. I know that some of these are not necessary to connect to the ground, so perhaps we will just extend them as far down as we need to. Again, kind of just like, as long as they go below this roof line here, then I think that we're good. There we go. So if we take a look at this, what we now want to do once again is come up to the top right hand corner here. We want to count down and find the 6th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a red terracotta behind, and then a row of 13 cyan concrete to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Red terracotta, extend forwards, up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extend to the right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, across, and join all the way back. Then we simply just want to extend the corners all the way down, and once again, so that's just hit the top of that roof, which is wonderful. This one will hopefully do the same, and then these others, we will just bury them low enough that they will just be below the roof line. I don't think that there's any need to connect them down to the ground. And if we take a look, that is absolutely perfect. However, we're not done. So next, we are going to take this red terracotta here, extend it inwards along the inside of our pillar here, and connect it just behind this red terracotta. Then we can place a row of 13 cyan concrete extending that way from the red terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Place a red terracotta, extend forwards, up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, across by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we just want to connect across, forwards, just like this. And then, once again, kind of the same sort of tail, we will extend all of these down. As a matter of fact, these ones are a little bit different. So, at the back of the factory, we will be able to see these. So, it's probably a good idea that we just extend all of the red concrete down to the ground, and then that way we won't have to do it later, because we would otherwise have to do it later. There's probably only one instance in which we won't have to do this, which is this inside row here. So it's not the end of the world if we do just kind of like extend this about halfway down or so. There we go. But the point is that this should match what we have on the front. And then once again, we are going to extend this red terracotta here connected to the cyan concrete. We'll extend this along the inside of the shape that we've made over to the right. And then when it connects to this pillar here, we know that we can extend another row of 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cyan concrete to the right. Red terracotta on the end, extend one row forwards, up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, forwards by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then connect it together in kind of like that square shape. And then once again, these rows at the back do have to extend all the way down to the ground, unfortunately. So this row here, and then where would it be? This row here. It's going to be so sad if this doesn't connect. There we go, perfect. And then these two inward rows will connect to, there will be another roof. It's actually quite low, the roof as well. I think that it's kind of like on the back, it's where the cyan concrete is, but we'll just extend it a little bit further down. There's no harm in that. So we will then extend this red terracotta here, across and through, connect to this, and then for one last time, we're just going to make one more pillar. So we will place 13 cyan concrete extending right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Red terracotta on the end. Extend forwards. Up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Across. Join. And then we can just extend all of these down. Well, once again, I mean, this inward row probably doesn't have to extend all the way down, but all of the others do have to extend down. They will be on show. I know that this sounds a little bit like, what are you even talking about right now? But when we start making like the sides of the factory and all of the rest of it, you'll be like, oh, that's exactly what he was talking about. That's why we only had to extend down this far. And yeah, you guys will see what I mean. So we'll extend all of this. We do have just one last little thing on this particular red terracotta area just to do before we move on to the next part. We want to extend this red terracotta here, again, along the inside of this shape, connecting to this corner, and then a row of cyan concrete connecting to the front of the build. So what we will have is a nice set of 6 pillars, all connected together, all evenly spaced and placed directly behind this part of our factory. That's quite a massive undertaking that we have just done. Okay, so next, on the front and the back of the factory, we want to have some yellow walls that are behind and below our rows of cyan concrete. And the walls look like this. All the way over here on the left, we will have a yellow concrete. We want to extend it to the right by 2, 1, 2. Place a yellow terracotta and then 5 more concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yellow terracotta and then 3, 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete. So from the outside, this is what the wall will look like, and it will stretch all the way down just below these roofs. We want to have the exact same thing on this side as well. So we will have a row of 3 yellow concrete, 1, 2, 3, yellow terracotta, 5 yellow concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yellow terracotta, 3 yellow concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then it would be, well, it would be a terracotta, but there's nothing there. So as you can see, underneath the cyan concrete areas, these will stretch down and connect to the ground. We want the exact same on the back of the build also. So if you just come to the back of the build and do the exact same thing, so we'll just start here on the left as well. In this gap here, we will have 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, and then that will be 3 yellow concrete on the end. And then the same thing here as well. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete, yellow terracotta. So we will have this. That's perfect. But not only do we want this on the front and the back, we also want to have this on the sides as well. So on the sides, we will have the same pattern. We will have yellow concrete, extend to the right by 2, terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yellow terracotta, and then 3 yellow concrete. So we can repeat this pattern onto the sides and also this side as well. So 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 concrete, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete, just like this. So the next thing that we are going to do is place a row of cyan concrete directly on top of the cyan concrete that we've already placed. So just going all the way around. We just want to raise the entire thing up 1 row. Then we want to connect this cyan concrete together with a row of yellow concrete. We essentially want to fill in the roof, but because of how we've kind of like left all of our red terracotta pillars, I'm just going to add a row of yellow concrete that kind of just extends all the way around these, like this first of all, because then I think it will make it easier to see what part of the build we have to fill in. So if we take a look at this, you can now see the area that we just have to completely fill in with yellow concrete. This is the roof line. So now that we have filled this part of the roof in, we are going to extend the walls that we made down as well. So this is really simple. We extend the yellow concrete and yellow terracottas all the way down to where we have to, essentially. So for instance, on the front of the build, you can see that we only have to extend it down so far, as eventually we will extend all of these roofs back, right, and it will just cut off that little bottom bit, and that lower part was unnecessary. So wherever you feel as though that we need to extend these down, extend them down. And you can always just make adjustments later, but if you get most of the way there, kind of like me, so here, and here, if we take a look just from the outside, there we go, we can see that that definitely goes lower than we would have to go. And we just have to do this. This is mainly for the front of the build. We don't really have to do this for the sides, or at least as much. So if we take a look at this from the front right now, there we go, that looks absolutely perfect. And if we just move over to the right, because this is also kind of like another problem area as well, kind of. So a lot of this wall will actually end up being covered by the sort of main entrance of the factory. But I think that we can get away with extending the yellow concrete and yellow terracottas about as far down as this. I think that this will be fine. Like where this cyan concrete is-ish, I don't think that we really have to extend down any further. So we're not, and I'm going to take the advice that I've gave you, which is let's just see later. Later, if we need to fill it in, that's perfectly fine. But the actual entrance will take up just a large chunk of this area, and we may not even have to have filled in that far down. One area that is not in contention, however, is the back of the build. All of these rows have to get extended all the way down to the ground. And just because I prefer to build from the bottom up, I'm just going to make these rows on the bottom as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3. So I always prefer building upwards. I don't know why, it's just a personal preference. I'm also faster building up rather than down. Maybe you guys are in the inverse, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter to you, but it definitely does to me. I don't know about you guys as well, but I also prefer to build like horizontally rather than vertically. So like I'd rather fill this in like this instead of like long vertical rows of yellow concrete. I'm always interested in how other people would actually fill things in. Like, does everybody do things the same way? Am I just weird? Who knows? So moving on to this side now, once again I'm just going to build the pattern along the floor. So 2 yellow concrete here, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, there we go. Then we can just connect up. And I'm actually going to add the rows of yellow terracotta first, because I think it would be easier that way. perfect. So, moving on to this final side now. Once again, just going to use the exact same methodology as the back, as this side also 100%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This side also 100% has to be filled in. So it's just completely exposed, this side and the back of the build. That's how I know that we can't really get away with any sort of like cheeky half rows. But luckily it is a short side, so it won't take too long. So the next thing that we are going to do, as we're in the vicinity, is clean up this little house area. So I'm just going to extend the roof backwards just like this to kind of equal the height or the length of the rest of this. I think we'll extend it an additional row over, cyan concrete all the way over to here, and then we can just kind of fill in this area here with red terracotta and this area here with red concrete. So yeah, that'll work out nicely. And also just the area above will do a similar sort of thing with this part here. So this, I think we'll actually remove this red terracotta here, and we will have white concrete for all of this. I think that that will just look a little bit better. There we go, perfect. And then let's just fill this in. I think that this is probably a good time to fill in all of our pillars as well. So wherever necessary, we're just going to fill all of our red terracotta pillars in. I think that the very tops can just be sea lanterns, just like this. But for the rest of the pillars, it actually doesn't even matter if they're sea lanterns, but for the rest of this, we are just going to fill in the pillars where necessary. So there, and like here for instance, and once again we kind of like run into that thing where like we only have to fill some of it in. Maybe it's an even better idea actually. Let's connect the roofs and the houses. And once again, I realise these probably aren't houses, but still, I'm going to call them that because they look like it. Let's connect these to the wall, and then I think that just make sure it's all no empty spaces. It drives me crazy when I think that I've 100% fully completed a build, and then, oh no, there's one block missing. It ruins it. So we're just going to do this all the way along. I mean, we can even extend it inside of the pillar. It doesn't even really matter too much. So here. And once again, we will check our work when we have finished it. So, yep, this can definitely go an additional row back here. I think that that's looking good. Okay, yeah, perfect. So it'll just be some cyan concrete here and also here. But once again, this kind of like area here just on the right of all of this wall, this is a bit of an anomaly at the moment. So we're not going to do too much, but there we go. It the rest of this is a bit easier now. So we can just fill in the sides of this pillar, make it look all nice and clean, or as clean as possible until we get to the point where we know better. For the tops of the pillars, I am just going to fill them in with sea lanterns. You'll see why later. It's not really necessary. They're going to get covered up with more sea lanterns, but I think that it's just it's just good to have them there anyway, as it will kind of just like mark out where we have to place the sea lanterns regardless. Being very careful to make sure that I've filled in as much as absolutely possible, because once again, nothing see, there we go. Nothing drives me crazy more than thinking that I finished something and then, uh-oh, you forgot this part, so... It's almost better filling in these back set of pillars and over there, just because you kind of like know you've just got to fill the whole thing in. It kind of like takes any sort of decision away from it. But these things are so big that it is worth just like wherever you don't have to do the extra work, it's worth like leaving it if possible. It just saves a bunch of time by the end of the video. Next, we are going to place some additional cyan concrete on top of all of our rows of cyan concrete. It's really simple. We place a cyan concrete here on the end, leave a gap, place a cyan concrete. So on and so forth, extending all the way around the top of this entire factory. Next, we have to add some sea lanterns and glass to each one of our 6 pillars. We start off by placing a 3 by 3 by 3 cube of sea lanterns on top of the sea lanterns embedded in the top of the pillar. Then we place light blue glass surrounding these sea lanterns. And then a row on top, just like this. You can also choose to remove the 4 corners, and it will make it look a little bit more rounded. We have to do this for each one of the 5 remaining pillars. Once again, just to remind you, 3 by 3 by 3 sea lantern Rubik's Cube. We then place light blue stained glass surrounding it. And then light blue glass on top of it. And then I prefer to just shave off those corner blocks. Let's do it 4 more times. Next, we are going to add the finishing touches to this side of the factory, in the form of 2 chimneys, the first of which is on this left side and made out of magenta terracotta. So I think the easiest way to place this is by finding this center cyan concrete here, kind of like following it backwards and lining up with the center cyan concrete on the left side. We then want to keep this block, which is perfectly in the middle of both of these rows. Then we simply extend this forwards by 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, left by 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, backwards, 1, 2, 3, and also right, 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend these rows left and right, each by 2, effectively just kind of connecting each side together diagonally, like this. So this is the outer part of the chimney. We have to extend up every single one of these outer blocks by 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we want to do this with each one of the remaining sides. So once we've raised all of these sides up, we are just going to place a magenta terracotta in each one of the corners, and then we will place a block of coal underneath this empty space. Just like that, and that is one chimney complete. We have to do the exact same thing all the way over here, except now we're going to use light blue terracotta. So we once again find the center cyan concrete that connects in between the center block at the front and the center block here on the right. This is where they kind of like converge. Then we extend this outwards. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And then we simply just want to place rows of 2 magenta terracotta extending outwards on each one of the 4 sides. Remove the middle and then extend all of these blocks up by 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It should be the same height as that row or that chimney. And once again, once we reach the top, we will extend the corners in, and then just place some block of coal underneath this to form the top of the chimney. And that will give us... Next, we are going to work on the central part of the factory. To begin, we are going to come all the way over to this end house here. From the bottom, extend 1 row back, and then place a row of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 light blue concrete extending up the side of the house. We then want to extend right 1, up 1, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, right, and then extend down to the ground just like this. We then want to place a yellow terracotta extending right, forwards by 2, 1, 2, and then extend up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, right by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, and right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend all the way down to the ground, but we also want to extend backwards by 2, 1, 2, and then place a light blue concrete to the right. We want to extend the light blue concrete all the way down to the ground, but we also want to extend right, up, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, right, and then just down like this. So, the first thing that we are going to do here is fill in these light blue concrete areas. We are going to add 2 rows of light blue concrete to the base of them. Over here on the left, we will place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 tinted glass with 2 rows of light blue concrete above the glass. We then want to place alternating tinted glass and andesite wall in this empty space with an andesite wall on top of the glass and glass either side of the wall, just like this. And then on the opposite side, we want to do the same thing but mirrored. So we'll start with 2 rows of light blue concrete, then 1, 2, 3, 4 tinted glass, light blue concrete, 2 rows of light blue concrete on top of this, and then alternating tinted glass with andesite wall in this empty space a wall on top of the glass in between, and that will give us this. What we are then going to do is fill in this central area. So this is a little bit more complicated, but we are going to place a light blue concrete here and extend it all the way up to just sit inside of the yellow terracotta. We then want to extend this block at the top to the right by 2 using tinted glass, 1, 2. Then place a light blue concrete, extend it down, underneath the glass, but also extend right, up, right, and place 2 white concrete extending right, 1, 2. We then want to extend down, place white concrete along the inside of the light blue concrete, glass up at the top here with white concrete underneath. We then want to place light blue concrete right of the white concrete, extend the top to the right and down, just like this. We then want to place glass underneath the top with light blue concrete underneath and white concrete on top of the light blue just to fill in that gap. Then we are going to fill in all of these empty spaces with green concrete, just like this. Next, we want to make the roof area, so come and locate this yellow terracotta block here, extend it backwards by 1, place a red concrete behind it, and extend the red concrete up 1. We then want to extend a yellow stained glass to the right, behind, and to the right. We then want to place roughly 4 red concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, extending backwards. We also want to extend this red concrete to the left by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. We then want to place a yellow stained glass left of it, back, left, and then place 2 red concrete extending back, so 1, 2. We then want to place a cyan concrete behind that. That is going to be important later. So now we want to place, this is kind of weird to explain, but basically we want to place yellow glass above and inside of this empty space. So we kind of want to create a corner, kind of looks like an arrow, of yellow glass just above and inside of the row that we just made. We then want to connect the outer parts together with red concrete here and here and here, just like this. We are then going to kind of just fill the top of this in using red concrete. So this wants to be 1 row higher than the rest of the roof here, and we just kind of want to turn it into a domed shape like this. So it looks a little bit weird, but this is what we have so far. The reason it looks weird is because we can now extend this cyan concrete here to the left by 2, 1, 2, and then up 1, left 1, and then up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, up, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, right, and then we just want to connect down, just like this. So this is a window, which we are now just going to fill in with tinted glass, but in placing this window, it allows us to easier shape the area that's behind it. So we're going to add 2 rows of white concrete directly on top of the window, like this. We then want to extend the white concrete. We'll start with the left side. We will extend it to the left by 1, down 1, left 2, 1, 2, down 1, and then left 2, and then down 1. That will give us this shape. We then want to extend this row to the right by 2, 1, 2. We then want to extend backwards by 2, 1, 2. We then want to extend down 1 like this, but then right by 2, 1, 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, so on and so forth. And we're just going to keep going until we eventually reach kind of a stopping point. So the stopping point would be where we kind of like line up with the edge of this light blue concrete area. The reason that we can kind of just keep going is because that will eventually be covered up by everything else we are surrounding it. So it's not too strict on like where it begins and ends. You'll see later on. So the next thing that we are going to do is now extend all of the white concrete that we've just placed down. We want to extend it about as far down as we have to. Once again, it's kind of like one of those weird situations where it's like, it's going to get covered up anyway. So for instance, this white concrete wall, we want to extend the light blue concrete area that we made earlier backwards. So we will be covering up a large portion of that, and we don't have to extend it all the way down. Equally so, the yellow terracotta area, which might be the best place to start really, we want to extend this backwards so that it would connect to the white concrete wall that we've just placed. So if we just take a look at it from this view, that's perfect. And once we have the yellow concrete area, we are able to connect the kind of like dome area that we've just made down to it. So the red concrete and the glass. So I think it's probably easiest to extend all of the yellow terracotta backwards. Once again, like some of it you have to extend further back than the rest, but I think that with the yellow terracotta it's just easier to do too much. And then there we go, that's perfect. So then we are able to connect this red concrete down to it. Everything else is kind of like connected to it nicely. We are going to extend the light blue concrete backwards so that, let me just connect some of this white concrete down as well, just like this. There we go. So we'll extend the light blue concrete area back to where the wall would be. And we need to extend a little bit more yellow terracotta, but if we take a look at this, this is looking pretty good. We can now extend the white concrete area down. So half of this is, I mean, we've built it in, but this left half is forwards in relation to this half. So this wants to, of course, continue all the way along. So the end result should look like this. And there's a little bit more to it. We have to make the roof, but the roof is the same shape as the outer part of the building. So if we just place cyan concrete just along the top and sloping down where necessary. Just like this, and then if we extend it so that each part of the roof just overhangs the white concrete part by one row. Now let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, there we go, that's perfect. There is also a large P on top of this roof, and we place it here. It's 5 red concrete stacked on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend to the right by 2, 1, 2, down 2, 1, 2, and then back on ourselves, just like this. So this is all of the work that we are going to do on the entrance area for now. We are now going to move on to the right side of the factory. So to begin the right side of our build, we want to come all the way over to this light blue concrete block. Place a yellow concrete to the right of it, extend it forwards 1, and then we are simply going to extend all the way over to the right by 53. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. So if you have made the grid, just extend all the way over to the right side, and then that will save you counting a very long row. On the end of this row, we are going to extend up by 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, left by 2, 1, 2. Then we want to place 2 rows of tinted glass below the yellow concrete. We then want to recreate a familiar pattern. we want to place 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow concrete extending left of the window, and then 2 tinted glass. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow concrete, 2 tinted glass. So on and so forth, extending over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. So once again, at the very end, you will only have a row of 3. You've not done anything wrong. Okay, so now we are going to extend every single tinted glass up by 1. I think that you guys might even predict what we're going to be doing after this. Kind of. So, we are now going to place yellow concrete extending all the way across from here onto this next window and then filling in everything in between. But then we are going to place a single yellow concrete next to this window, and then we are going to repeat that once again familiar pattern. It's yellow concrete across the right side, across the top, and then a single concrete on the left. So up across the right, single concrete on the left, so on and so forth until we just reach the opposite side. Just like this. Next, we are going to place a yellow concrete here in the corner of this empty space with a tinted glass on top of it. We will then extend the tinted glass to the right by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then place 2 yellow concrete. Then 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 yellow concrete. 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 yellow concrete. 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 yellow concrete, and then a tinted glass, 2 yellow concrete, 1, 2, tinted glass, 2 yellow concrete, tinted glass, 2 yellow concrete, tinted glass, 2 yellow concrete, 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 yellow concrete, 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 yellow concrete, 4 glass, 1, 2, 3, 4. We should connect all the way back. We have to extend the single glasses down a row. There's not many of them, there's just 4 in kind of the middle. We are then able to fill all of the remaining empty space in with yellow concrete. Next, we are going to give all of these houses a roof, and it is the exact same thing that we have done many times already. We simply use cyan concrete to follow the shape of the tops of our, I'll call them houses, because again, I don't know what this, it looks like a house. It's just like a row of terrace houses. We just follow the shape all the way along, just like this. And then we just extend the cyan concrete 1 row forwards. And on the end here, it's a little bit different. We're just going to extend 1 row off. But for all of the others, this is what we should have. For the next part, we are going to make 2 large house-looking things directly behind our row of yellow houses. So, to do this, we are going to come to this point in the build, and behind this cyan concrete, we want to place a red concrete, which we then want to extend up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then across by 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We will then extend down. You only have to extend as far down as necessary, so just so that it's covered up by the rest of the houses. And then we want to add a row of red concrete across the top of the roof line, just like this. We then want to, starting on the left side here, we want to place 2 lime terracotta, 1, 2, followed by 2 tinted glass, 1, 2, lime terracotta, red concrete, lime terracotta, 2 tinted glass, lime terracotta, red concrete, lime terracotta, 2 tinted glass, and then 2 lime terracotta. We are then going to extend the glass up by 1 row, connect the red concrete upwards. We will then fill all of the remaining empty space in using lime terracotta. And then underneath here, where necessary, we will fill in any gaps that we have with lime terracotta, just like this. We are then going to leave a gap of 2 on the end, and then place a row of lime terracotta that just sits on top of the roof area, like this. We then want to place red concrete on top of the 2 central blocks. This lines up with the window that we have just down below. We then place 2 rows of tinted glass on top of this, red concrete along the outside of the tinted glass, lime terracotta on top of the window, and then we extend the lime terracotta left and down and left and down and left and down, so on and so forth, until we have this shape. And we want to do this on both sides, so we extend right, down, right, down, right, down, right, down, right, just like this. And we can fill in these gaps, just like this. And then we have to give this thing a roof. So the roof, it's kind of similar to the others, in which we just follow the shape along that we have made. We place red concrete for the roof, like this. It all connects together, and then we just want to extend the edge of the roof 1 row forwards, just so that it's in front of the rest of it. Otherwise, it just looks a little bit weird, really. Just like so. We're also going to extend these end blocks 1 row down as well, just like this. And honestly, that's most of this. So all we would have to do from here is extend the side of this backwards. So my recommendation would be to extend from here. So we have to extend back by 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We can then extend across and forwards like this. And then we actually want to do the exact same thing that we have on the front. So I'd recommend just kind of like looking at the front of the build and kind of just copying it, like with the roof. If we just make sure that we have all of these zigzaggy red concrete parts here, like this, and then lime terracotta across the bottom, we can once again kind of like line up with the front of the build, and we can place the window. As long as the window lines up, I mean, everything else kind of like falls into place. We don't have to make a massive amount of this though, so I'll explain why in a second, but let's fill all of this in. My recommendation would be to extend the corner red concretes down. They don't have to go all the way down, as I believe the roof line for this, like, we'll be extending this cyan concrete backwards and around the back of the house. So actually, we kind of do know where this is going to be going. So if we extend as far down as this, and if we kind of copy what we have on the front there. So if we have a row of 1, 2, 3 lime terracotta here along the side, red concrete across the back, and then we just copy the same, let's just copy the window structure and, well, everything else really. Add in these vertical rows of red concrete. I think that that's going to be easier. So the red concrete here. Extend the glass up an additional row. Lime terracotta, filling everything else in. And then underneath this, we are just going to place lime terracotta. So it would seem as though we only have to fill in these 2 rows. So that's good. Can save us some time there. But we do have to extend the roof backwards. So the back of this has to... Well, we have to make the back of the roof first of all. We have to have the roof shape overhang the back of the build just by 1 row using red concrete like this. And then we have to fill the entire top of this in also with red concrete too. So this will take a little bit of time. There's not really any sort of like magic quick way of doing this other than to just extend the outer blocks. So like you don't need the red concretes underneath, just extend the outer blocks and just join front to back. So we will also have to fill the right side of this house in. If we just extend the red concrete backwards and then fill this empty space in with lime terracotta. And then just underneath here we will also want to add lime terracotta. There we go, that's looking good. And then obviously the roof line will sort everything else out. And then ultimately all of these cyan concretes will extend backwards. There's not too much point in doing this now specifically, but I'm kind of thinking that these would have just kind of like, we could have just extended these across anyway like this, so we didn't have to fill these 2 rows in, but it's good to know for the rest of it. It might even be a good idea to extend this cyan concrete here just all the way across, just to kind of like give us an idea, like this is where the top of that roof line is going to be. So this is what I will call, for lack of a better term, house number 1. Well, there is another house directly next to it. It is identical to this one, pretty much. So I'm going to recommend that we extend this red concrete backwards by 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to extend left by 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We then want to extend up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just back on ourselves like this. And we will connect to the house, join this upwards, add another row of red concrete here, fill this in with lime terracotta, and there we go. So pretty much the exact same thing as we have here. Starting over here on the left, we will place 2 lime terracottas followed by 2 tinted glass, a lime terracotta, red concrete, lime terracotta, 2 tinted glass, lime terracotta, red concrete, lime terracotta, 2 tinted glass, and then 2 lime terracotta. We then want to place additional tinted glass on top of our tinted glass, and also red concrete extending upwards also. We will fill all of these gaps in using lime terracotta, just like this, and we also want to extend down a certain amount as well. So again, it's the same sort of procedure as with the other part of the house. I'd probably just recommend extending all of these roofs backwards first, connecting to the row of red concrete that we have. So we'll just extend these back just like this, and then the smaller parts of the roof like so. Which is good because we now know where to fill in with lime terracotta, and we will check in just a second if this looks good, and there we go, that's perfect. So we have pretty much exact same thing as we have here. So now we are going to add the row of lime terracotta that is 2 rows shorter here on the left and 2 rows shorter here on the right. We then place red concrete above where we have the glass in the center here, and 2 rows of tinted glass on top of the red concrete on top of the glass, and also to the left and right of the glass like this. We then want to place lime terracotta on top of the red concrete, and then extend the lime terracotta left and down all the way until we kind of just hit this point here. So we want to do the same on the right down, until we hit the low part of the build. We can fill everything in the middle in with lime terracotta, and then we are going to place red concrete along the outside of the lime terracotta, just conforming to the shape of the roof. We will then extend the red concrete one row forwards, and also just down one row on the ends, just so that it matches the other house, just like this. Then we have to extend the side of the house backwards by, and I'm going to start here, 17 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like this. So we can extend all the way over to the left. We don't have to count this out. And then we will just join forwards to, well, here. We don't have to extend all the way. But I'm also going to extend just this row as well. And connect it down. Fill this in with lime terracotta. Extend this row as well. Extend down. And then all of this can be filled in with lime terracotta on this side. I think that this is a rare occasion where we don't really have much here. So I think we'll fill all of that in. We will place red concrete across the top of this. And then, as we mentioned earlier, so this is where the roof line's going to be. So we'll just extend this back and around. Because I was just going to extend down, but then there would be no point because, well, we won't see it anyway. So we will add these vertical rows of red concrete as we have on the front. We'll add in all of the glass as well. I think that we'll just do all of the glass. And then we will add the lime terracotta around it. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just looking forwards and copying what we've already done. It's quite easy just to line it up. So instead of like counting incessantly, we can just like line up with the front, make sure that that all looks good. We can add the... It might actually be easier to extend the roof all the way back. I think actually this might even be how I did it last time actually. So make the edge of the roof the same as the front. So this would extend... No, it would extend from there. Because the roof doesn't overhang on the sides as it would a regular roof. So here, and then extend in and up, in and up, in and up until... Yep, perfect. So that lines up with the front. Extend across. Red concrete here. 2 rows of glass on top. Red concrete on top of that. Then we can just fill all of the remaining empty space around this in with lime terracotta. Just like so. There we go. I thought the window looked weird. So there has to be red concrete all the way around the edge of the window. Just tell myself that. And extend the sides down an additional row like this. And that's looking pretty much the exact same as the front. So I think it's time to seal up the roof just by extending the outer blocks 1 row backwards. I don't know why it helps to kind of just have this little extra row extend. Maybe I'll do it on the back as well. Just make it a little bit easier. Just connect it front to back and just make sure that there's no empty space remaining. Next, we are going to make a giant chimney that kind of sits in between the entrance area and this area to the right. So the way that we place this is by coming to this red concrete, counting backwards by 2, 1, 2, and then placing 5 red terracotta extending left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to place 3 rows on top of this, 1, 2, 3, and we will just fill in all of these rows. We then want to extend this top row backwards 1, and then up by 2, 1, 2, and then just across here to connect to our house, just like this. And we'll just fill this in as well. So what we are then able to do is find the middle of this row, which is here, and behind it place a yellow terracotta. So this yellow terracotta now wants to extend to the left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We then want to place a yellow terracotta behind and to the left of this, so in this position, and then extend backwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then across the back as well, we want to place a yellow terracotta that extends back and to the left, and then extend it to the left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we just have to connect the front and back together with a row of yellow terracotta that just sits on the outside of it. It sounds a little bit weird, but basically we just end up making a square. So this square, we now want to add an additional 5 rows on top of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to do this to every single yellow terracotta that we've placed. So on top of the yellow terracotta, we will be placing 6 rows of magenta terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And whilst we're at it, on top of that, 6 more rows of yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we simply just have to add all of these rows directly onto the yellow terracotta, and it basically just creates this stripy effect. I think that I'm going to do one side at a time instead of one colour at a time. So now that we have made those 3 giant parts of this chimney, we are just going to add a yellow terracotta in the corners at the top. Next, we are going to place a row of magenta terracotta that sits above and inside the empty space that we have just created. So it's going to turn into a ever so slightly smaller circle. It's made out of magenta terracotta. It also wants to be 6 rows high, so we already have 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we want to have 6 rows of yellow terracotta on top of this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then a final row of 6 magenta terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And don't worry guys, that's as high as this chimney goes. So once again, we are just going to, and do feel free to just extend the outer blocks. You don't have to do those, extend the corner blocks up as well. We just have to extend all of these blocks all the way up to equal the height of the first initial row. So all the way up at the top here, we are just going to extend the corners in again just to make them a little bit more rounded. We will also add the block of coal just underneath the top like this. And we might even, for a lack of a better term, like coal stain the top of the chimney here. So if we just remove some of these blocks kind of like in a pouring pattern like this and add some block of coal to the top of it, it kind of gives a cool effect. Maybe like even like this on this block here and here and here. I think that looks pretty cool. You could even extend it all the way around as well. You don't have to do kind of like as much on the sides, but perhaps just a little bit, maybe here in the middle. And I think that looks pretty good. Gives it a little bit more character. So I've got to move so far back. So now that we've made that chimney, next we are going to make another chimney. This one sits directly on top of this house's roof. We line up with the front of our chimney there, and we count back 1, 2, 3, and then we place a row of blue terracotta across the top of our roof, left to right. We then place a blue terracotta extending backwards, back and right in relation to this row, and then extend backwards by a further 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do the same on the other side. We place a blue terracotta here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we place another row of blue terracotta to connect like this. So essentially we form a square shape. Let's extend these blocks upwards like this. And we also have to build the chimney into the roof as well. So let's destroy the red terracottas underneath the sides of the chimney like this, and we kind of just want to meld it in. So there we go, that looks way better already. Well, we also want to make this chimney roughly as high, perhaps a little bit higher than this row of yellow terracotta here. So where the other chimney starts going inwards, if you come about halfway up this magenta terracotta here. So now we've figured out how high we want the chimney to be, all we're going to do is raise up every single blue terracotta to equal the height of our tallest row. So when we get all the way up to the top here, we are just going to add a blue terracotta in each one of the corners, and then our usual coal, just one row below all of this. And there we go. Perfect. Next, we are going to start extending the factory backwards. So come all the way over to the right and extend this row of yellow concrete backwards by 21 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So this row of yellow concrete wants to be as high as the house itself. And I'm just going to extend the top of the roof backwards a little bit as well. So just going to have it overhang and extend it inwards a little bit. So next we are going to leave a gap of 1 from this wall, and then backwards we will place 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow terracotta. We then want to place another row of 5 yellow terracotta extending across the back of the build, connected diagonally to this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then extending forwards diagonally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we just essentially want to form the same sort of chimney shape that we have made so many times already. This one is made out of yellow terracotta. So we then want to leave a gap of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we want to do the exact same thing using green terracotta. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another row up here on the right, connect back across the top, and there we go. So yellow chimney, green chimney. We now want to do this one more time. We're going to leave a gap of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we want to have the exact same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just making sure that the width of the chimney is correct, and that will give us 3 chimneys in total. We won't have to build any more after this, I promise. So these chimneys want to be 33 rows high in total, so we have to add 32 blocks on top of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So that's as high as each one of these is going to be. I'm going to extend all of them just one side up at a time. I'll probably, you know what, just for the fun of it, I think I might do like one side of each chimney at a time, just because. That's probably the harder way of doing things, actually. I think I'm just going to complete one chimney at a time. That makes way more sense. So just as with every single other chimney, we're just going to connect the tops together like this. And I don't know why we don't have the coal, but we will then add the coal just underneath the top row. Like this, that's perfect. And we are now going to repeat this exact same process for the next two chimneys. And I'm just going to start on this side first, just because it will be easiest to measure the height of this. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to keep counting out rows of 32. I don't know why that sentence was so difficult to say, but here we are. And I'm just going to use a previous chimney to check the height of this one. It wouldn't even be the end of the world if they were all ever so slightly different sizes, but it's actually so hard to tell from the one and only picture of this factory, like the proportions of everything and where exactly things are in perspective. So, you know, some of these things on the factory could be a little bit wrong anyway, but once again, there's only like one image of the thing from the front in its kind of like entirety, so you've got to kind of like glean a lot of information just from a very, very small amount, so... with each one of the final 3 chimneys made, it's now time for us to seal up the back of the build, and it's not as hard as it looks. So first of all, we are going to extend our cyan concrete here backwards. We want to extend it backwards until we are 1 row away from the edge. The cyan concrete will then extend all the way over to the right, and the goal is to extend it and connect it to here. Perfect. So we will then place a row of yellow concrete that sits inside of this corner, and we'll just extend it down like this. But we also want to extend our white concrete backwards as well. So we want to extend this white concrete backwards, and it wants to join to the yellow concrete just in the corner, and we're going to extend the white concrete across. So this will join to our pillar here. That's absolutely perfect. I think that we'll keep it like that. We could even extend it inwards a little bit more if we wanted to. So like we could extend it and connect it like just behind here, I think would look good. So this is all a little bit of experimentation. It depends how big you want the inside of this to be as well. I just think that the build will look better overall if this central part here is a good amount smaller than the rest here, and then we can extend the yellow concrete in. We could even extend the yellow concrete so that it kind of like overlaps a bit, but I think that this is pretty good. So in doing this, we can extend our yellow concrete all the way over to the left, and we will fill this entire wall in. And we'll also extend the yellow concrete forwards here to connect to this wall. And we have to extend, so it's probably easier to extend the roof. So if we extend the roof, the cyan concrete, so there's 1 row over the white concrete like this, we want to copy the roof shape from the front of the build, and it's quite easy to do. It's up 1, right 2. So we'll just copy the roof shape like so. And then should we extend the roof inward? Like, should we match the shape of the front of the build or just keep it flat? I think we'll keep it flat just for simplicity's sake. We'll make sure that everything lines up nicely so we can start connecting the front and the back of the roof together, because the back of the build really doesn't have much detail at all. And there we go. So this is essentially what I wanted. I just wanted an area that we are now able to fill in. So we can add our white concrete along the inside of this. And add a row here, and there we go, perfect. So I'm just going to smooth off the top of this and fill all of this in, and then I'll just fill everything underneath in also. Of course, do feel free to make things up to add to the back of here if you want. Like if you desperately want to add windows and any other bits and bobs that you feel as though may belong on the back of the building, do feel free. Again, like a lot of this is kind of like interpretation from just one picture of the factory. So who's to say what is or is not back here? Who knows? There could be a giant dragon back here for all I know. So with this wall filled in, we are now going to connect. So underneath our yellow concrete here, we want to place yellow terracotta. We have to place rows of magenta terracotta. So the rows of magenta terracotta sit directly underneath the yellow terracotta. We'll extend the concrete backwards like this, and we just want to blend it into the roof. So kind of tricky. And then add the concrete here. There we go. I think that's blended quite nicely then. Just a terracotta here. There's nothing to cover up this on the side. We're just going to have to place a bunch of rows here on the side. And therefore here as well. Yeah, so on the front of the build, we have to extend these terracottas. I cannot get the name of these materials right. These concretes backwards, just so that we see what we're working with. So extend this all the way back, and what is one here as well. So that will go there like this. We'll extend this backwards. There we go. So there's no gaps. That's absolutely perfect. So then, on the back here, the cyan concrete line is here, of course. So this will just go, unless we were to kind of like, so this is clearly part of a roof of some sort. So we could extend this back a few rows. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we could kind of like do, how does it look on the front? So there's 2 rows and then it just goes down. So like we can then extend this down and then like extend the red terracotta down like this, and then that gives the cyan concrete something to grip onto, and then there's no gaps. So that's perfect. So let's take a look around here. We've got to fill the top of this roof in also, and I think that might be kind of like this middle part of the back pretty much complete, or all the complex parts. Yeah, I think that's perfect. So we do of course have the main roof to fill in, but that's quite easy. We just have to connect these rows backwards. So this leads us on to this part of the factory. We are going to place a row of yellow concrete, 1, 2, 3 rows inwards here. So kind of just connecting the middles of all of these chimneys together. And we want to extend the yellow concrete up a bit, but it would just be a bit easier if we were to extend the cyan concrete back first. And then we know how high to make the yellow concrete. So The cyan concrete is going to extend one row over, like so. Do we have to do this on the side? No, we already did it on the side. So it'll extend here, and then ultimately here. Then we can just fill the top in with cyan concrete. Moving on to the final bits of detail, the entranceway has a road and some paths that lead up to it. So we are going to locate these two white concrete blocks here, and in front of these we want to dig 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to place 2 grey concrete at the front and then 2 yellow concrete in front of that. We can then dig all the way to the outer boundary and then repeat that pattern. So 2 grey, 2 yellow, 2 grey, 2 grey, 2 yellow, 2 grey. Then we want to dig from the yellow terracottas on the left and right side of the entrance here, and we want to place rows of grey concrete, just like this. What this essentially signifies is the end of the road, so we can remove all of this grass in between and replace all of the grass with grey concrete. So, either side of the road we are going to dig an additional row and place a row of green terracotta in there instead. We will then dig another 2 rows outside of the green terracotta and place stone in them. And then for the easy part, which I'm not going to include in this tutorial, I think it's long enough, I am going to replace all of the remaining grass and white concrete of the grid with lime terracotta. There we go. I think that it just looks better. You could just leave it as grass, but lime terracotta, in my opinion, just looks cleaner. And one final small touch to make the factory a little bit more ominous, I would highly recommend placing black concrete or any other black block really behind the glass. It just makes it look a little bit more spooky, a little bit more interesting. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the entire tutorial complete. However, this video is not over. We must now add the factory into our city. As you may have gathered, there isn't exactly an ideal place to put a giant horror-themed video game-based factory in my city, so I think that we're going to have to relegate it with all of the other builds of this type and kind of just stick it over here with like Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and the other stuff. I actually do think that this may eventually find a place when I get around to making some like docks and warehouses and some more industrial parts of the city, but for now, this is where it's gotta be. I'm sorry to say. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you would like to make anything else by me, please check the description below for the Mini City Builds playlist. We have over 100 builds in there for you to enjoy. Alternatively, the sidebar, hopefully the next upcoming video, YouTube, or just check the channel. Consider becoming a channel member today and you will gain access to a cool avatar next to your name, some unique emojis, and access to my mini city design world containing every single build that has been added to Mini City to date. This is well over 100 builds, all chronologically ordered. Java edition only. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.